everyone, Val here, and I am starting a new project. So I thought I'd bring you along and we'll see how this turns out. I haven't done this before. It'll be all new for me. So let me show you what I'm gonna be doing. You know, this is probably gonna take me a little bit, but we'll see. So let me show you. We have these two little statues that have been in our yard at our other house. We brought them, of course, with us. They go to a fountain. Oh, this little guy doesn't want to sit up. Okay. They go to a fountain. So we have the boy, and he has a cracked head here. So I'm going to try to patch him up. He's lost his thumb. This is just all from weather. The weather beating on him where he was sitting at our other house in the flower garden. The water coming off the eaves. Kind of banged them up a lot. So this little girl, she has a spot on her hat, some blemishes on her legs, a little nick on her knee there, and you know, she's looking a little beat up too. I think she's missing a toe or a piece of her toe. So I'm going to patch these guys up. I washed them. They're all washed. I'm going to let them sit here and dry off real good before I do anything to them. Let me turn him over so the other side of him dries. But as you can see, oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm trying to get a good look at him here. He's in need of some love. They're both in need of some love. So I want to redo them. And what I want to do is, once I get them patched up good, I want to paint them all white and then put some color on them. I need to wash the black out. So I'm going to paint them all white. I'm going to give her a hat. I'm going to give her some blonde hair. Make her dress a different color so that they have a little more pop than just being black statues. This little water jug, it's part of the water feature on there. I'm going to paint that up too and let that dry. And I'm going to, of course, do the same thing to him. Give him some hair. Paint his clothing. So this is going to be my next project here. So I'm going to let them dry and we'll come back and see if we can get them patched up a little bit. I'm going to be using this joint compound as my plaster for my statues here, and I'm going to try to mold it into what I need it to be molded into. So let's give this a shot. Okay, so what we're going to do while I'm doing the statues here is we're going to do like a little tag, some questions. So I'm going to be talking about art, and we're going to ask some art questions, and just put your comments in the chat section over on the side if you're here for the premiere, or if you're watching this after the premiere, put your answers in the comment section below. If you have any questions, throw those in there too, because I'm going to try to make this fun. So my first question is, did you like doing art as a child? Like when you were in school, did you do art classes? Did you do art at home? How did you feel about art as a child? As for me, I took as many art classes as I could possibly take. I always loved art as a child. I would draw at home. My mom encouraged it. And so she, you know, would buy me pads of paper for drawing and all my little drawing supplies and everything. And I took pretty much every art class I could possibly take in school. So, you know, I found it as a fun thing to do. I love drawing. I don't draw as much anymore, but I still am very creative now and use my talents in other ways. But I did, as a child, I loved art. That was probably, with no doubt, my favorite subject. So I loved all types of art. So what about you guys? Put in the comments section
Did you like art as a child? If you did art as a child, do you still have any projects or paintings or drawings that you did as a child? Have you kept them over the years? Do you still have any of that now? Um, I wish that I did because I did some paintings. I did a lot of portraits in high school. So I did a lot of paintings and stuff. And I don't have those now, but I really wish that I did. I have one or two drawings of portraits, and I might show them to you at one time, but I wish I had kept some more.
All right, so I have all the holes filled in on the boy, and it's smooth, but I still have the lines of the shirt there, so it'll look good. I'm gonna let this dry good. I have the hole in the head filled in, but I want to do a little more sculpting to it. I'm gonna let this dry and see if I need to add a little bit more hair on there. I have the thumb started. I'm going to keep working on that. I'm going to let that dry and add a little bit more to that. So I'm going to set him aside, and I'm going to start working on the girl to, I got to repair her hat and her toe. So I'm going to start working on this one, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to set this little guy down and let him dry. Okay, so I think I have all the repairs done. If you can see, I have fixed her toe here. We got a little toe on there. I've got the thumb repaired on here. On the boy, I have most of the head repaired. I have this is still got to dry a little bit here, but I have all the spots filled in. So what I'm going to do is I've got a really fine sandpaper, and I'm going to go over these with sandpaper to kind of even things back out on them. So I'm going to start doing that just to get them nice and even. Excuse me, I've got sinus issues.
I know as a child, I used to do some drawings for the church. I would take poster board and I'd draw some, like Jesus holding a lamb. I remember that as one of the pictures that I drew. And it was when I was in my high school years and I was, taking drawing and stuff. Uh, I donated those posters to the church, and they would put them up at the entrance of the church. And I remember doing several of those for them. I don't know if the church probably still doesn't have them now. I mean, that was, 40 years ago or something like that. But I do remember doing that, and I thought that I did pretty good. I thought that I was pretty good at drawing. So that's something I really love to do. um, was anything that you did like, was it displayed anywhere? Like, I did stuff for the church, and that was just a donation. I wasn't doing anything for money, but is anything that you did, was it displayed anywhere? Did other people get to enjoy your art? I can't remember any other places where my art was actually displayed. Um, I know when I joined the Marine Corps, I did, I still drew a little bit. I did some portraits and stuff. I really didn't get into like the knitting and stuff. I knitted a little bit as a child, but as far as crafting and doing stuff like that, I really didn't get into that into when I was in the Marine Corps. Um, I got more into knitting and those things once I got out of the Marine Corps and, had my children and, started to raise a family. Then that's where I really started getting into like knitting crafts and other things like that. I've always enjoyed, working with my hands and trying to build something. And I consider, building stuff art too, whether you're building a birdhouse. I know my dad used to build birdhouses, but whether you're building a birdhouse or fixing your own home or something like that, I consider all of that art. So there's art comes in so many different forms, between sculpting and painting and you know paper crafts or whatever it might be. So I didn't get more into that kind of art until I got out of the Marine Corps and started building things in my own home. So, my next question is, were your parents creative? What kind of things did your parents do? I know as far as creativity, my dad loved to build. He built the house that we lived in. He was always building things and he made his own like sinkers for fishing. He would pour the lead into molds down in the basement. I remember him doing that. And like I said, he did build bird houses and things like that too. He was always building something. He was very creative and very good working with his hands. My mom, she would do all kinds of needlecraft, knitting and crocheting and sewing. She sewed. She made her own pot holders. I guess that's where I got inspired to also make pot holders because she did that all the time. My mom also wrote poetry. She still does. My mom's 87 years old now. My dad's passed away, but my mom still is very active with writing poetry. She was published in several books, amateur poetry books, and she's done some wonderful poetry. So both of my parents, I consider that, back then, I guess you had to be handy at doing things, but I think both of them had a very creative side to them. And they did inspire me. So let me know, were your parents creative? And if they were, or if they weren't, did they inspire you? I learned knitting. My mom taught me knitting. I watched my dad work with wood. I learned those things from my dad. I think both of them inspired me to do art. I know my mother encouraged me to draw, and my dad did too. But my dad worked very hard, so I mean, he wasn't always around as much as my mom. So they both inspired me. Um, how about you? Did your parents inspire you to do art? Did they encourage you? If that was something you liked, let me know. Okay, back to the video just for a minute, and then I'll be right back.
First coat of paint for the little girl is done. As you can see, it's still probably need a little bit of a second coat on there before I put the colors on. But so far, her first coat is done. I'm going to work on another piece. So let's set her down, hope she don't fall there, and we'll get started on another piece.
Okay, so my next question would be, do you consider yourself creative? Maybe your parents were creative and they encouraged you to create, but you just didn't feel like you were creative at all. Or maybe, their encouragement, um, even if it wasn't something you really enjoyed doing, maybe it made you more creative and now you're glad that they kind of encouraged you to draw or do different kind of craft things. Do you consider yourself creative? I think that I'm very creative. I have a very large imagination, I guess. There's different styles of creativity, and I always kind of wish that I had uh, a lot of different styles, but most of my stuff is more, like realistic. So I do think that I'm very good with working with my hands. I'm not afraid of a challenge. I can pretty much figure something out. And a lot of times I'll use like YouTube videos if I'm trying to create or build something and I'm really not sure how to do it, I'll, refer to a YouTube video or something like that. Um, but, just let me know if you think that you're creative or not. And if your parents didn't inspire you, who was your inspiration? Did you have a grandparent or an aunt or uncle or, somebody? I know that for me, not just my parents, but my art teacher at school, I think he was like one of my favorite people because I think he realized how much I loved art and that I did have a little bit of talent. So he really took time to, explain different things to me on, how to, like, I can remember one time I couldn't get the drawing of somebody's foot right. And he took the time to show me the different ways to, make a foot look like a foot or whatever. So, I got a lot of inspiration, I think, from my art teacher as well as my parents and other people that I was around. So other students in school and stuff. I remember we had a guy that was an amazing painter, and he did more kind of abstract paintings, and I love to watch him draw because his imagination was incredible. They even gave him like a wall at school outside the art room, and he painted a mural on the wall. It was, I think, like a dragon or something, but it was amazing. And I remember, coming to watch him when he was drawing and stuff, and they would let me sit there and, kind of watch what he was doing and learn some different techniques from him. But he was one person also that inspired me to use my imagination when I was doing things. So, who inspired you? Uh, Parents, friends, relatives, maybe another art student if you were into that kind of thing. Let me know. I hope you all are enjoying the video so far. As you can see, I'm just about finished with all of the white. They're really coming together. I'm loving how they're turning out. I love to see something come together like this, where you take something and totally fix it up and make it look better and make it new. Um, do y'all enjoy doing things like this? I can't wait to see how this turns out.
I've completed the second coat on both of them. It turned out really, really good. Um, there's none of the old colors showing through. The boy is looking good. His hair turned out good. I think his hair turned out good for a hole being in his head earlier. It's all good. I think his thumb turned out good. I think her toe turned out good. She was missing a toe. Got her toe fixed up. I think it was on this foot maybe. Anyway, her big toe. So tomorrow we start to put some color on them. And the vases here. I just put it on this to dry. So we'll start putting some color on them tomorrow. See how they come out. Getting ready to start putting the color on the little girl. I'm going to start with the face because the hair will be on top of it. So I'm going to start with the face. I have flesh color. It's flesh. So I'm going to shake this up and let's get started.
Okay, so my next question, have you ever done a project where you've restored statues or something like this? If this was your project and you restored these statues, would you add color to them or would you have left them the black color, repainted them black, or maybe even just left them the white color? What would be your preference with the statues? I like them black, but I really like color in everything. I wanted to add the color to them. I've wanted to do that last year, but it was more appropriate to do it this year. I had more time on my hands this year, of course. But I like things to look realistic. Like I said, my kind of art is more of a realistic kind of art. And every time I see something that has a lot of detail on it and it's all one color, I always think, oh, that would look so cool if, all the fruit, like if it's a trim and it has fruit on it or something, if all the fruit was the color it's supposed to be, it would look so cool. So in the comment section to the side, if you're here during the live stream, let me know what you would have done. If you would have left them black, if you would have left them white, if you would put color on them, if this was your project, if you were going to put color on them, what colors would you make, like the dress and the hat or the boy's pants or shirt? See if you'll pick the same colors that I'm going to pick. Yeah, I go with the typical boy girl kind of colors. Little girls are in pink or yellow or some kind of pretty color. And then the boys are more of, the blues and the browns and the, like purple and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind seeing a guy with a pink shirt on. I think it looks really nice on guys. But for little boys, probably would not put a little boy in pink. I don't know, maybe, but not a lot of pink on them. So, I'm pick more colors that traditionally go with little boys and little girls. So that's how I picked. I think the color for the face was perfect. And it was called Flesh, and I like the way it turned out. So as you can see, it looks realistic, and I was really happy that I had that color because I didn't go out and buy new paints. I used the paints that I had, and I really didn't want to go to the store because of the virus going around. Because I am making this video during the coronavirus outbreak. So I limit my trips out of the house, and I did not want to have to go to a paint shop to pick up paint. So I was lucky to have the flesh tone, and I used the colors that I had for the clothing, even though I wish that for the jug, the water jug, I wish that I had more of a copper color, to have it like a copper pot, but I didn't, so I used what I had. So, but that's fine. I think it turned out nice, either way. So let me know in the comment section, what if you would have left them plain or white, black, or if you'd have put colors on them. So my next question is going to be, do you like coloring or painting? Uh, do you would you rather have like a paint by number or a color by number, or would you rather create your own, similar to what I'm doing here, is just picking your own colors and putting your own colors on there? Maybe even if you are using a color book, just putting your own colors in the coloring book or paint book or something. Do you do that type of thing? And if you do, what's your favorite way of doing it? Color by number, paint by number, or just creating your own colors? Do you prefer more of a color book style painting, paint by number, or do you prefer more of like what I'm doing here, maybe painting a statue or repairing a statue, or painting a table? Maybe you like to do staining tables, repairing tables, chairs, furniture, something like that. Um, Picking your own colors and making it your own. This, I kind of feel like this is making it my own because, to take something that is withered and worn, and, the little boy had a little hole in his head and she was missing her toe and he was missing a finger, and to be able to put them back together, for me, this is the first time that I can remember that I've ever done a project like this, and I was really, really happy with the way it turned out, that I could actually rebuild the boy's head and rebuild her rebuild her toe and his finger and have it look, I think, as well as it did when they were brand new. So, and actually thinking that they looked a little bit better because of they had the colors on them, and I prefer to have them in color. So, let me know with you, um, what's your favorite way to do things, to follow directions that you have in a book and do a color by number, or to create your own.
All right, so I have silver. We can make it silver. It's probably supposed to be a copper, more of a copper color, but I don't have any. And I'm not going to the store because we're not really in lockdown, but I'm not going to go to the store. So let me use the silver and we'll try that.
Okay, y'all, let me know what you think so far. How am I doing? Uh, I'm really, really enjoying this project. I was so anxious to get it done, and I wanted to take my time and do it right so it would look good. But also was very anxious to see what it would look like as a final project. I had took like 6 hours of video and edited it down to about an hour here. So this video is about a little bit over an hour long. It's right at an hour. But anyway, so I hope that you'll stick with me to the end of this to see how these turn out. I am having fun with this premiere, putting it together, and I'm hoping that a lot of people will come and share your thoughts with me and just hang out with us for a while. And if you are not joining us during the premiere, make sure that you're putting your answers in the comment section below so that I can know what you would answer.
She's dry. I've left her overnight to dry. Today I'm going to be painting her hair, her hat, and her dress. The boy is looking good too. He's gonna get his hair, well, of course their eyes. I gotta give him some eyes, and their clothes. It's Saturday, so I have all day to work on these guys, all weekend. So I'm gonna get started.
Did y'all pick colors that you would put on the dress or the boys' clothes? Of course, I'm going with the pink, and I'm going with the blue for the boy and purple for his shirt. But did y'all pick colors and let me know what they were going to be? All right, so I was talking about, I like things to look realistic. I'm more of a realistic type person when it comes to art. What type of art do you normally do? Are your things more realistic? Are you more abstract? Um, what types of art do you do? And what ways do you like to create them? Again, like realistic, abstract, whatever it might be. Um, like I said, I'm more of the type that wants things to look real. When I'm doing portraits, I try to get them as close to what the person looks like. I'm a perfectionist. I like things to be pretty perfect. I don't really get mad if they're not, because I know that no art is perfect and it's all up to how the person creates it. And there's a lot of different mediums for creating, and it may not be just sculpting or drawing or painting, stuff like that. It can also be music or video. We're all creators when it comes to making our videos and stuff like that. So what type of creator are you, and what are some things that you like to create? So let me know in the comment section again, what type of things do you create? Like with me, I guess I'm diverse, as far as I don't really create music. I've used to play like guitar a little bit. I took some guitar lessons, and I did a little bit with guitar in high school, and I did have a guitar in the military, and I messed with that a little bit. Um, I played clarinet when I think I was in middle school. I don't remember reading music. I didn't think I was very good at it. It wasn't something that I truly enjoyed. Um, I don't mind listening to music, and I like all different kinds of music. And I love the people who have the talent to be able to do that, to create music and to sing music, and all of that is very cool. But I don't have that talent. So I don't do music. I do videos. I love to make my videos. I like making all types of videos, from just vlogging to, this type of video where I'm sharing a craft or something, taste tests, whatever. I enjoy those type of videos. Now, when it comes to abstract type videos, videos that take a lot of editing or a lot of imagination, I wish I had that talent. I stay very busy with my job, so I don't really have the time to learn a lot of editing programs. I did just get a new editing program, and I'm learning how to use that. I'm going to try to read the manual so that I can do more with videos and be more creative that way.
One of the boys' pants are done. I'm going to let him sit here to dry, and then I'll turn him over and do the back of his pants. And I'm going to start the little girl, and I'm going to give her a pink dress. So let's get her started.
But that's as time allows me to do it. I know there's creators out there that do some amazing videos with editing and things like that. And I just envy them. I wish that I could do that. I wish I had the ability. I know that I have the ability. I just need to learn how to do it. So the learning how to do it, the time to learn, that's one of my challenges. I'll do it. I mean, I'm going to learn it because I'm determined to do that. All right. So what type of projects do you enjoy? What is your art? Besides video, of course, you see, I like sculpting. Not really the sculpting. I didn't like making pottery or making jewelry. I took a jewelry making class in high school, and I was not good at that at all. I would try to fire things in the kiln, and I would burn them up, and I ended up quitting that class actually. And I don't quit a whole lot of things, but I wasn't good at it. I wasn't going to pretend I was good at it. And I ended up just coming out of that class. I liked the classes with the painting and the building stuff and that type of thing. I love doing needlework. I did a lot of counted cross stitch in my younger days, in my 20s and 30s. Um, I don't do counted cross stitch anymore. uh, I think it's a time factor thing. There's so many other things that for me are easier. I don't have to pay as much attention when I'm doing them. Things such as knitting and crocheting and things like that, where I can sit and watch videos and do that, and I don't have to look at a pattern and try to figure out what I'm doing. Even if I'm doing like a blanket or something that has a pattern in it, once I get that pattern down, I don't need to be looking at a book to tell me what stitches I have to do for each row. So I can be doing that and watching videos at the same time. Um, I can be more productive that way. So for me, that's would be my craft of choice. The knitting and the crocheting, and I like sewing when I have time. On the weekends or something, I will get out my sewing machine and do different types of sewing projects. I actually started a quilt, and it's probably been over 20 years ago, and I've got the whole front of the quilt done, and I have the backing and everything put together on it, and I've put it away and never finished the quilt. And I think it's because at this point I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know how to put it together. I've started it and I don't think it's right, and I don't know if I want to rip it out and have somebody finish it for me or whatever. That now may be a project that I do pull out once I get other things done that I want to get done. and try to get that finished, because that project's been sitting in a bin for, you know, probably 20 years. And it's a fairly large quilt, and it would be nice to have, to put on somebody's bed, maybe the bed upstairs in the loft or something, or to give it away even. Um, I like making the pot holders. When my children were young, I would make little dresses for my daughter. My daughter did pageants, like the little beauty pageants, and I made a lot of her little dresses that she wore. I enjoyed creating that way to, make something pretty. Probably the biggest sewing project I ever did was I made my sister's wedding dress, and she was living in New York and I was living in Virginia, and she picked a pattern that was close to what she was looking for and sent me the pattern. I made the dress in a scrap material, the bodice of the dress, and sent it to her so that she could fit it to her and send it back to me so I could fit the pattern to her fittings, if that makes sense, and cut the cut the material out, the good material out, and make the uh, the dress with the good material. The dress fit her perfectly when I was finished, and I remember the bottom of the dress had a train, the long train on it, and I actually hung it up from my ceiling and hand stitched scalloped lace around the bottom of the dress, and that took me hours and hours to do that. I would work on it a little bit at night, and I was probably in my 20s when I was doing that project. Took it up to New York for, and I think I sent it up to her, and had her try it on, make sure it fit before the wedding, and see if I needed to do any alterations or anything. The only thing I didn't do was put the little button on, I think, to hold her train up. So they went ahead and did that for me. But she looked beautiful in the dress. It fit her perfectly. I was proud of the accomplishment. It was something I always wanted to do, to um, to sew a dress of that magnitude, to make something that beautiful. And I got that done and I did it, and it took me a long time. And I was so happy with the result, and I will never do it again. Because, when you have a goal or you have something you really want to do and you accomplish it, it's something that you mark off and you move to the next thing you want to do. So I think for my brother's wedding, I wanted to make his wedding cake. So I made a lot of the flowers. I handmade the flowers on it, and made those ahead of time to take up. When I got to New York, I made the cake at my mom's house and put the cake together. I actually, decorated the cake with the flowers and everything, and then I went to the center where they were going to have the reception to put the cake together. I think it was like 4 tiers.
All right, I'm going to do the shirt with a purple color. So let's get this one started. I did get a little bit started, but let me keep going here.
It looked amazing. Everybody loved it. The turned out really, really nice. So again, it was something that I've always wanted to do, and I got the chance to do it. I took advantage of that chance. Yeah, I did it as a gift for my brother, and I did the wedding dress as a gift for my sister for their weddings, and I enjoyed both of those projects. It was a lot of fun. So, so besides like painting and, doing the sculptures and cooking and knitting, and I do like knitting. And of course, I knit hats for the homeless, and I do crochet afghans from time to time. I don't follow patterns doing afghans, but I do follow patterns for knitting, so I'm able to knit like baby blankets with special patterns on them, or I have knit sweaters before, mittens, stuff like that. I can knit those kind of projects. I don't do that a lot anymore. I unless I have a cause to do it, I can do baby booties knitted, but I can't do them crocheted. So I do like to do that. I like to make wreaths and like settings for the middle of the table, centerpieces. Um, I like to work with my hands, anything working with my hands. So I like to build stuff. Like you all saw the video. If not, you can go and look at it. But I took the room down the hallway here and made an office out of it. I took the carpet up and put down hardwood flooring. I painted the walls. I had to take wallpaper down, um, painted the walls, spackled, put up tongue and groove paneling on one of the walls, built shelving, and I wanted to do it all myself. I wanted it to be my project so that I can look back and say, this is something that I did. Just watching a project come together is exciting for me, just to see what it's looking like, and know that you're doing that work, that's your creation. Now back to the video.
I mixed some red and some white to make a different color pink because I don't have two color pinks. And I'm gonna do the hat and the trim on the dress with this color. Let's see how this turns out.
So, and I, if I need help, if I'm not understanding how something is done, I go to either go to YouTube or I go and I'll ask Steve or something to help me out. Most of the time, though, it turns out pretty good. It may not be perfect, but not everything in life is perfect. And like I said, art is not about being perfect. It's about how you create things. So, what is one of the coolest things you've ever created? I know that with me, the cake and the wedding dress, I think were like awesome creations, and I count those as um, cool. One of the coolest things I've ever created. Um, in one of my houses, I wanted a tile backsplash, so I went to the tile store and picked out tiles. Over the back of the stove, I put some specialty tile that was 3D. The kind of like the picture was coming out of the tile was like a teapot and some other things, and it was in neutral colors like browns and tans and everything. And I watched some videos to learn how to install tile myself. And I went through the process and did it. And instead of laying the tile like squares, I put them like diamonds. I put them sideways to give it just a little different look. And it turned out amazing. I did the grout work um, myself. Steve did kind of help me a little bit to try to, get me in the groove to doing it. But I tried to do the project myself. I showed a lot of people the before and after pictures, and they said they thought that it turned out better than if I had hired somebody to do it, because I took my time and I got it to look as, as perfect as I could get it, because I wanted it to be nice. And that was one thing I was really, really proud of, and I thought it was an awesome project. So let me know what's your favorite project that you ever did? Do you have something that you're really, really proud of? I think for me, it's not so much like making a pot holder or knitting a hat. I can do those as relaxation when I'm sitting and watching videos or something like that, crocheting a blanket. Those for me aren't the projects that I'm most proud of. I think the projects that I like the most are projects where I take something and I create something new out of it, like remodeling a room, or like these sculptures that I'm doing now is, they were in such bad shape, and to be able to fix them up and to paint them, I mean, I think they turned out really, really good. Are they perfect? No, they're not perfect by any means. But I did them, and I enjoyed the project, and I'm proud of the way they turned out. I thought they turned out good. So, what projects, are you proud of? What's your favorite project? I hope you're writing that over in the chat section so we all can share that information and get to know a little bit about each other. The next question would be, are you planning any new projects? I know we're all kind of like staying at home right now because of the virus that's going around, and we're trying not to spread it. So hopefully everybody's staying at home. So is there a project that you are doing while you're at home and quarantined, so to speak? With me, I did the sculptures. Now I'm getting ready to do some lawn furniture.
Gonna use a dark purple to trim the shirt on the boy. We're gonna do his collar, his cuffs, and his waistband, and then his buttons.
We have some lawn furniture that the seating rotted out of. So I'm going to make some new seating for that. And then, of course, we have the cushions that go on top of the seating, but I'm going to go ahead and fix that. I also want to do the chairs in my dining room. I've got to figure out what color I'm going to have my dining room, but once I get that figured out, I want to reupholster the seats on the chairs in my dining room. Another project that I think I'm ready to get started on is the painting and the floor in the living room. Um, the walls need to be spackled and touched up. So let's go back to the video just for a minute.
We're gonna give her yellow hair. All right, she's coming along here, coming along pretty nicely.
I want to put a different color. It's green. I'm not really into green too much, so we're probably going to go with more of a neutral beige or something in there. We're going to install the hardwood floors in that room also, and then I want to pick out a different rug to go underneath the couch on top of the hardwood floor so it doesn't get scratched. And then arrange the pictures a little differently on the wall so that we can get more family pictures up. So those are some of the projects that I want to be working on in the next few months. I'm not sure how long we are going to be in this quarantine stay at home, but I definitely have enough to keep me busy. I know a lot of people say they're bored and everything else. I don't know how anybody could possibly be bored. I'm far from being bored. I actually enjoy working from home. Didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I do, but I really do because it cuts down on my travel time back and forth. I stay really, really busy and I get a lot of work done. Um, and I really don't have a lot of time for crafts except for at night or on the weekends, which is basically what I was doing before anyway. So I use my weekends are pretty much cleaning the house, doing laundry, same thing you always do. So, and I have my crafts that keep me busy. So how anybody could possibly be bored and feel like they're locked down and they can't get out and do anything, I don't see it. I'm very, very happy. I'm very relaxed. I'm very content. Matter of fact, there's less stress than if I was going to work because I'm pretty much working by myself, and you don't have all the commotion and things going on in the office area that you would have if you were going into an office to work. So my stress level has gone down. My productivity level is where it was in the office or more. I really am enjoying working from home. I'm enjoying my time quiet at home without distractions. um, I'm really, really, really enjoying my time. So, and I'm enjoying time to do some of these crafts and these things that I want to get done around the house. So instead of going out shopping or doing stuff like that, I know you got to kind of adapt to the shopping online and stuff if you need something. I just was looking today. I need some thread, and I'm going to have to order it online. because I don't want to run to the store just to get some thread and put, myself or anybody else in danger. So that's how I'm feeling. So let's go to the next
Not
question.
sure if you can see. Let's start the eyes.
Next question would be, do you like to draw or paint? And if you do, what medium do you like the best? Do you prefer like watercolor, acrylics, pastels? Um, what do you like to do when you're doing a painting or something like that? So with me, um, I myself have never been a fan of watercolors. I don't mind looking at other people's watercolor, but I've never been able to control them very good. I know when we were on one of our cruises, they had a watercolor class where they didn't teach us too much, but they did have some watercolors there and they had some pictures. And you were supposed to look at the picture and then take a blank paper and try to draw the picture uh, with the watercolors and paint them with the watercolors. I did a fruit bowl. It didn't turn out too bad, but if I'd had like acrylic or pastels or something else to do it with, I think it would have turned out better. So for me, I'm not, like I said, a big fan of watercolors. For me personally, I would much rather be working with acrylics or pastels or even just a pencil and charcoal or something. Okay, so the last question, or I think this is about the last question, is name something that you're not good at that you wish that you could do better. So I thought about the question and I thought, well, there's a lot of things that I wish I could do better. I mean, I know how to do them, but maybe they're not quite as detailed or I, haven't mastered all the skills. I think with this question, and put your comments in the chat or in the comment section below on what you think a skill would be that you would wish that you could do better. But I think the secret is practice. Is just you know if you want to learn how to do something and you like it, keep practicing and learning more skills. And YouTube is an awesome place to watch videos and get pointers from people. There's a lot of people who do drawing and different crafts on YouTube that you can learn little skills from or pointers from. I don't know that I taught you anything with this, but I just wanted to bring you along with the process and have you see what I was doing and what crafts I'm doing in this time that we have to really kind of stay inside on the weekends. And of course, I'm working from home during the week, so I staying pretty busy. But this is what I've been doing to pass my time. So let me know again what you wish that you could do better. And maybe are you going to take the time to do it, to do more of that skill, whatever, to learn it, to maybe watch some videos while you have some downtime if you're out of work or uh, working from home, working part time. I know, my son is only working 1 day a week now because he works in a restaurant and the restaurant is only doing to go orders now. So they don't need cooks. They don't need all their cooks. So he's only doing a part time. So I know a lot of people out there they've either been laid off or they're only working part time or they're working from home, either way. Okay, so if you've made it this far into the video and we are kind of wrapping it up, we've only got a few minutes left. I have the last question for you, and you need to put an answer in the chat bar or in the comment section below. I know a lot of people are out of work, a lot of people are struggling. If you had an extra $50 right now, what would you do with it? Um, I know with me, I'm still working full time, and Steve's still working full time. We have our jobs. Um, I want to bless somebody. So I'm going to do a drawing. This is a secret drawing because I just want to see who wants to hang out with me. And if you've taken the time to hang out with me and you've watched the video all the way to this point, tell me what you would do with the extra $50. Um, I'm going to draw one winner, and I'll draw it from the people in the chat, and I'll draw it from the people who are watching the video. And I will do the drawing. Today's the 4th. When I'm recording this, the video premiere will go out on the 5th. So I'll say like I'll give everybody about 10 days. So on the 15th, I will draw a winner. Okay. So make sure you let me know what you would do with it if you got it. And you can just make something up if you don't want to, tell the truth or whatever. Doesn't matter either way. Just if you want to be entered, just tell me what you would do if you had an extra $50.
This is how the babies turned out. They turned out really good. So as you can see, I love the details on the face. The little boy turned out really, really nice. His head patched up really good. I mean, his hair, you can't really even tell there was a hole in his head there. Patched really, really nicely. Looking at the back of him, got his little pockets going on. The little feeties, he's so cute. The hair in the back looks good. The back of the girl looks good. Let me hold her up here a minute. So she's looking really good. I'm going to take them both outside and I'm going to spray them. I'll probably do like 3 or 4 coats of this clear matte finish. And I'll let you see them when I'm finished doing that. Let's go spray them. I have them sitting out here in the sun. I'm shaking up my spray. Hopefully the paper will stay down. I'm using trash bags.
So I want to thank everybody before the end of the video for coming by the premiere, or at least sticking through the video this long. I appreciate your support and everything you do, and I support you. I thank you for hanging out with us. There is a little bit more on the video, but it's all, I've talked through it. So this is the end. Love you guys.
I brought the sculptures out and put them on their perch here. Steve's got to get a pump because the pump isn't working on this, so he's going to order one on Amazon so we can get this water feature hooked up. I love the way they've turned out. I think it's beautiful. So I just do a little zoom in. I know the lighting's not the best. The sun is kind of shining onto the house. But I think it looks wonderful. So what do you all think? Did I do a pretty good job there? I'm liking it. So I want to thank y'all for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and you want to, and see what my next project's going to be. Y'all have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for coming by the premiere and watching. Bye now.